and yeah, I'll fill you in on everything because we, not to worry you, but we gave you like a couple more lines so you weren't just standing there, and gave your character some attitude because the guys are being like kind of pervy in the scene, and then you like kind of shut them down and everything. So we gave your character a little bit of attitude.
Yes, sirski.
All right, I will. Yeah, I'll give you a ring once we're done here then. Okay, sounds good then. Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you. All right, bye-bye.
Yeah, so for those of you guys that think we're not busy, we are. And if we're going to invest our time in you, please be mindful of that. Given that said, Office of the Day, you guys have just tuned in with Pasadena's Wolf and Mr. the Sean Boyd. No, I like Sean Boyd, the big fish, the big visionary, the big film enthusiast. And not only that, I'm going to just say, for lack of better words, because I like New York, the New York East Coast state of mind. Welcome.
Billy Joel. New York State of Mind. Great song.
See, I don't even know what he's saying right now, and I can't be saying that I understand.
I'm in a New York state of mind. And then he hits the piano. It's fucking great.
Yeah. So thank you so much again. It's crazy, you guys. We met just once before this, at it was completely random, but just know that you will see the Sean Boyd's films everywhere sooner than later.
Yeah, it'll take a little bit of time, but yeah, it was really fucking random. This guy just pulled up into a parking lot, and we got a bunch of big lights out there at this laundromat, and I was like, hey man, Mark came up with a big tidal wave of positive energy, and now here we are.
There we go. That's how it is. It's all energy. If you don't believe me, just go ask Drake, and you're not going to be able to for a while. Just go check out his, if you're reading this, it's too late, but we're going to take a quick second to shout out our sponsors. Shout out to Office of the Day, the biggest sponsor, myself. Shout out to Sean Boyd, another big sponsor. He's here, we're here, and we're going to be everywhere. Shout out to Omnia CBD. They have the best products out, and why I say the best, they're manufactured in San Diego. And just give them a check out, omniabrand.com. My referral code is MARK01. Go ahead and check it out. And then as well, you guys, for anybody that needs a roof, go ahead and give me a call. My number is 323-238-9502. And for the rest of the sponsors, we'll shout out later. Is there anybody you want to shout out really fast?
Ooh, right now, no. Just a huge shout out to anybody listening. If you are creative of any sort, graphic designer, musical artist, filmmaker, whatever, thank you so much for tuning in. And hopefully Mark and I, with this discussion, bring you some sort of value. So thank you for listening.
Oh, it's going to be so much value. So we're going to go ahead and just start diving into it because we have a lot of topics to go over. And not a limited time, but we do have limited time because we have other things still left to do. So thank you, Mr. Sean Boyd.
Thank you very much.
Let's just start off really simple, and thank you guys as well that's tuned into Office of the Day with Mark Anthony. Thank you so much, you guys. Let me just ask you really quick how your mental is doing with all going on. You're pushing through. You're coming around third base right now with this big film on the way. Tell me how your mental is doing.
That's a question that I don't get from that many people as you're making this, because oftentimes when you're making something, whatever type of project it is as an artist, you think that the whole process is fun, and I'm not saying that it's not, but this is my baby. This means a lot to me. So as we're coming around on the last percentile and we're finishing it up, like there's a lot of pressure wrapped up in it to make sure that it's right and it's all making sense. I think when you make a project at the beginning, you have certain intentions, but over time, when you zoom out from that project, there's a whole different perspective on what it is and what the final piece should be. And now there's this huge, tremendous pressure to make sure that plays off correct, because you can't do it again. You only get one real shot at it, especially with this stuff. So lately, it's been huge to me to take care of my mental health and mental well-being. I'm happy, I'm thankful and everything, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't freaking out. Like last night I was sleeping, and I'm in bed, and I'm like, I know I'm asleep, but the other part of me knows that I'm in my bed, and I'm like heavily breathing, dreaming about all these scenes that we're going to film this weekend. And I'm a little worried, but it's just, I have to bring my best. And then everything, from the drinking water to the eating healthy to the working out is all there in purpose to make sure that I'm feeling the best mentally and taking care of that, because I can't go in there and be a frantic fucking nightmare and be like, oh, I don't know what we're doing. Problems will arise and you need to be mentally strong. So it's just that's where things are really at right now. It's been a long haul.
Yeah. Two things I'm going to mention on that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep your mental on point, and how do you think that you learn to continue to keep your head straight? Because as the director and the visionary of everything with the script and conducting your team, how do you keep it all in line?
Right. I think it's really preventative action, right? So if you know that one certain thing is going to have an effect, right? For instance, if I don't go to bed early enough and I don't wake up in the morning, well, then I slept like shit. And when I slept like shit, I'm not going to crush it the next day. I'm probably going to feel pretty lethargic, and not that wonderful. So it's important to me right now, and I used to be a big health nut, but lately I'm really getting back into it, to take care of my body. Number one, because when I'm taking care of my body, lowers my cortisol levels, and I'm much happier. I am much more with it, so that keeps my energy and my focus on board. And then the other thing to me, man, is I just feel like, oh man, it's almost 6 years on this journey to making films, and it's like I have a lot to prove to myself. I'm big on the fact that when you say something, you should mean it, and whether you say it to somebody else or yourself, it has to be the truth. Whether there's delays and bumps in the road, shit comes up, that's life. But I'm gonna make it up. If I promise my girlfriend something and it just didn't happen, I'll make it up and we'll do it the next time, and it will make sure that it happens. So I'm very big on keeping my word, and with that, I have a lot of ambitions, especially to make films and stuff like that, and not to go into the background of it. But I mean, everybody has their tumultuous situations with their family and everything. I have a brother who's just, I'll put it this way, he's not done the best. He's my older brother who's I'm supposed to look up to, and he's kind of gotten messed up in a lot of the wrong things. Right. And here's a beautiful young kid who's so intelligent and has the whole entire world before him, and he chooses to make very careless decisions with what to do with his time here on earth, right? His time living and breathing, right? Because we don't get it back. And I just feel like, God forbid, if I were to ever lose him or we separate and we don't talk because we've had our rough patches, it's like I want to show him that, hey, bro, this is what you can do. You're so smart and you have this whole entire life ahead of you, and like, use your time here, man. Like, use it, and you can be something great. So it's like in his spirit, because I want to do the best for him, my father as well, who's a big influence in my life. It's like I have this big tremendous desire to not let anybody down, and bring home that energy and show people like what's possible when you put your mind to something. So that's another thing, it's always there, in the back burner.
Yeah, man. And that's a very way to display that, and yeah, that's impeccable.
Yeah. I
Excuse me.
No, you're good. You're good. So I think everybody has their things in their closet and where they come from, from their family, and maybe it's an off kilter response to that. But yeah, it's like, I feel like I have a huge, tremendous debt to them and like other people that I tell, like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. And it also goes to the negative people too, who doubt you big time. It's like, guess what, man? Remember when I said that? Here we are,
Right.
So it's a big thing.
For sure. So you guys, now we're going to actually go into what I guess most people would want to hear, that are directors, anybody that are looking to penetrate this market. And by the way, you guys, I just looked up, there's endless opportunities in this industry. There is. Mm-hmm. And if you don't believe that, please choose another. How much does this film specifically mean to you that you're working on right now, and how much have you been willing to devote? Just tell me a little bit about what it means to you.
Oh, dude, this means an incredible amount to me internally, aside from just telling a good story and entertaining people, because it's a very hard feat to accomplish on an indie level when you're financing it yourself with almost no funds in film world. So it's a very difficult thing to do, and it's the only way that my words of I want to be a film director one day are going to become a reality, right? So this is a necessary evil in making it. You know, you want to be a film director, you can write all the scripts you want and send them off to Hollywood, and that's happened. That's worked for people like Quentin Tarantino, but the industry is changing so much more. So when you haven't made a film at all and you have nothing to show to studios and producers and stuff like that, it's a lot harder for them to take you seriously, right? So with making this is my resume. This is what I can do with nothing. So give me something and watch what I can do after that.
Right.
So it's really the beginning phases, and there's a lot of sacrifices that have to be made, and it means so much to me to get it done that I have professional work gigs that are willing to pay me really good money. And fuck, man, I feel like insane. Like they're calling me and I'm like, I can't answer you right now. Like I'm working on this project where I'm spending fuck tons of money, of my own money, but I know that I have to take 2 steps back in order to take 20 steps forward. You know, that whole freelance life is great. That's awesome. There's people who do that. I'm not hating on that, but my goal is to make films. So if I continue to put all of my energy, all of my chips in that basket, it's never going to happen for me. I'm never going to eventually make that move to narrative. And since I've had this dream, it's been now 6 years, you know, and I've been wanting to make films, you know, and it's taken a long time of learning all the technical, all the know-how, making the connections, being at a good state in life where it's like, okay, now it's the time. And now here I am. I'm not that old. I'm 27. But man, I'm not getting any younger at all. So it's time. It's really, really fucking time for me.
Mi colombiano ni sabía que tiene 27 años. Creí que era, no sé cuántos años creí que tenías, pero quería decir que creí que, bueno, no sé. And the only thing I think that you are wrong about out of everything you said is that you want to be a film director, that in the eyes of a studio, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. You are a film director. Excuse me. You fucking are. And you're making it happen. And not only that, is it safe to say that you're obsessed with films and learning how to be the best filmmaker?
Conor McGregor once said something about obsession. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he was discussing, because some people say that obsession is a bad thing, and I totally have OCD. Like it's the only thing that fucking processes through my brain. It's hard for me to have other conversations, but I think that it's unfortunately a necessary evil to be able to get, because it's really a 24-hour a day, 100% all fucking in thing, especially in these current phases right now. So yeah, I think I would definitely label that. I mean, I'm watching YouTube videos day and night. Every single scene, I'm experimenting with something or a technique that I've never done. I'm always trying to meet up with the actors and, you know, incorporate new things inside the story. And it's like 1% better every single time, you know, because this is only 11%.
Well, the team that we have, that you built, that you've created, that it's 11%. It's 111%.
Yeah, we've got some good guys. Big shout out to Blair, to Val, to one of my longtime friends who's been with me since the beginning, John Turco, my girlfriend, people who've helped me write, people who've believed me since the beginning when I worked in a totally different industry and said, hey, I want to make movies. We got some really good people around us and many more people on the film. Sorry if we didn't mention you.
Shout out to my girlfriend too, and shout out to my mother, shout out to my father, and most importantly, shout out to mi familia en Colombia y en Mexico. Quería decir that, you know, when you have the mindset of Sean Boyd's mindset and you're grateful, there's literally endless potential, because at the end of the day, sure, we attract bad people, sure, we attract good people, sure, we attract flakers, sure, we attract this, sure, we attract that. However, it's our job to designate and realize and delegate and notice who is willing to do this and who is willing not to.
Yeah.
For sure. So we're on our next topic. That was one small topic, and we're going to go to the next. What is motivating to you? Because I have a way different perspective on films, I feel, that you do, because where you originally are from. Where are you from specifically, for the people that don't know?
Specifically, I am from North Jersey in Bergen County, you know, land of pizza, the armpit of America, so they call it. We're about 20 minutes outside New York City. Yeah, they call it the armpit of America.
Why? What is that?
Oh, I mean, when you get off the plane in Newark, I mean, when you get off the plane in LA, you know, you're right by Inglewood, and it's kind of shitty. It's really not the nice area. And I find that most airports in some major cities are just stationed near the shittiest damn areas. So when you get off the airplane in New Jersey, in Newark, you drive through and you're like, it's all factories and like, you know, shipping docks, and it's not really that nice. So it's not wonderful. It gets a little bit of a bad rep, but meanwhile, at the same time, Jersey is the Garden State. So funny enough. But yeah, that's where I'm from, you know, home to the Sopranos and some of the other, you know, greatest pieces of culture that I grew up with. And
yeah, and I've been watching that, and I really like the stuff you post because I can relate a lot. However, I don't have background knowledge. Like, the only post that you put on your story yesterday, I followed him immediately. And my girlfriend knows exactly who he is. Can we please give him a special shout out?
Oh, Big Time Tommy,
yes.
Bro. He's fucking hilarious. That's East Coast as hell, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Time Tommy, big shout out to you. Big Time Tommy, if you don't know him, he is a wealth of positive energy and posts extremely positive statements on his Instagram channel. He's also collaborated with many amazing Italian American influencers and people from The Sopranos and the whole 9 yards. Very funny dude, very positive. I suggest you give him a follow.
Yeah, is he in any of The Sopranos? Because he looks very familiar, and I know they all
He's
look...
not, dude. No? He was on this like Staten Island reality TV show where they're selling cars at like a used car lot. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, it was like hilarious, dude.
No.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I was like following him for a little while, and then I looked it up, and there's all these like jokes about getting fucking pizza. And,
that's
like,
impeccable.
This guy.
Only New Jersey and East Coast people understand.
Oh yeah. There's a whole culture. There's a heavy, you know, how there's a huge Mexican American influence in Southern California. There's a huge Italian American community up in the Northeast. So especially all the jokes with the pizza, the mozzarella, and the gabagool, and all of those things. So
right, for sure, for sure, and that definitely answers our question. Before we started our podcast, I think one of our biggest topic was follow through and mean what you say. And you can just go over this for like a minute. But
sure.
Again, how adamant and how significant is this to you as a director, being that you're going to be on a global scale? And I do not want you to go to studios at first.
Yeah.
I want you to do your LLC. I want you to, be the Nipsey Hussle of yourself and self-brand yourself. What does that mean to you when I tell you this?
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I have many great friends that are bigger fans of me and bigger supporters of me than sometimes I can be of myself.
Shout out to Blair and his podcast. He just dropped a huge podcast that's coming out tonight. Keep going. Sorry.
Oh, what a guy. But yeah, no, the follow through on actually finalizing this thing it's like all or nothing. Like I said, this is the means to an end. This is the only way that I personally feel like I'm going to transition. Because right now, I film a lot of music videos professionally. I do some commercials here and there, and that's what I'm known for. Mm-hmm. And I feel like as an artist, many people in any type of artistic creative field wrap their identity up a lot in their work, right? So when you say Sean Boyd in the film industry, yeah, dude, he's a dope music video DP. That's cool, and that's awesome and all. And we've done some fun shoots, but I don't want to be that. I'm tired of being that. It's not my goal, and I want people to be like Sean Boyd, the film director, writer. Like,
give me the
amazing.
Sean Boyd quote that I love that we spoke about pre-pod.
The latter?
Create films, not vibes.
Oh, yeah, dude. I don't want to fucking create vibes. I want to create films, stories, man.
Yes.
So, you film a music video, and I'm not even going to say sorry if I offend anybody, because everybody's fucking offended about everything these days.
Yeah.
No matter what you say. But, I've worked with some great people on music videos. Love y'all. But, god damn, dude, I'm so fucking tired of these generic-ass concepts and just a vibe and filming this shit. And then it's like this shot plays over and over. And sure, yeah, it's pretty. There's great lighting and the song's cool.
But it's deeper than that.
But yeah, I want to make something deeper than that. Like when, if I show my fucking dad or like my uncle, like, hey, look at this music video I shot. They'd pick up the phone, they look at it, and oh wow, that's really something, you know. And then once you've seen about 30 seconds of it, all it is just a repetition of the same shots you've seen over and over again, right? For the chorus and the verses and whatever, for the rest of the video. That's not every music video, but the majority of the ones that I'm gonna film are like that. And I'm like, give me substance, you know, give me some good dialogue, give me the story, you know. Stop trying to sell my mind a vacation, you know, my eyes, and, you know, take my mind to a whole different world, you know. It just wrap me around this whole entire story, make me forget that I'm even sitting in my fucking living room, and just for 2 hours have my full attention. My phone buzzes, I don't give a shit. This story's so good, I want to feel something.
No,
you know?
your phone buzzes. It doesn't even buzz because you're in airplane mode, because all of a sudden you are on the airplane. You're on the airplane that the director is taking you.
Oh, there we go. But yeah, dude, I'm really fucking tired of that, you know. So I want to create stories. I mean, I grew up my entire life watching movies and shows. Sure, I watched cartoons and stuff like that, but at a young age, you know, we were watching some more adult kind of films and stuff like that, like rated R films and stuff, you know. So I don't know, maybe it's in my maybe I'm like bred for it. Maybe it's just ingrained from, you know, a child's mind is like a sponge, like they say, right?
Right. And the last big pre-pod question that I like that we discussed at Urban Plates, is living under your means and staying humble and sticking to striving to experience life fully. Tell me about how living under your means has put you in the position that you're going to be in and that you already are in.
And that's a lesson that I learned the hard way. I think, unfortunately, I've always been the person to learn the lesson the hard way, right? So before I got into film fully 100%, I'd say almost 3 years ago now, I worked back in New Jersey at a car dealership, for a Porsche dealership. Life was good, making great money, wearing nice suits, going out to steakhouses, basically spending the money to enjoy life to its fullest. Cool, sure, I worked hard and everything, but I got the brand new car and all these fancy clothes and everything, and I'm spending money, and then at the end of the day, I got shit to show for it. I got no investments, I got no savings or anything.
Not making money.
Exactly. So then move out to LA. I say, I am not going back to the car dealership. I'm going full-fledged freelance and everything like that. And here I am. I got no job and everything. I moved to Los Angeles. We got about $8,000 between Michelle and I, my fiance. And, you know, that shit goes really, really quick. That's nothing. Once you get a deposit, you get some furniture, and you get started. So for about a year and a half, man, it was just a year and a half of just straight eating shit, you know, driving Postmates, doing Craigslist jobs, everything under the sun, odd jobs and stuff like that to really make ends meet. So, you know, again, like I said before, taking a few steps back to take steps forward. So here I am starting this whole new career and going full freelance into film, leaving the typical day job where I get a consistent salary. And now, because I got no savings, and before I'm trying to live the high life as a young guy and spend it on stupid shit. Now I learned the lesson the hard way. It's like, bro, you should have lived simpler, saved a little bit of money, probably invested a little bit of that money, and you would have been doing fine.
Wouldn't have learned to fly high.
Yeah, right. So now, then a year and a half after eating shit, you know, start to get a little bit smarter. The money's getting better with filmmaking, doing commercials, music videos, starting to work on bigger sets. And now it's like, you know, I don't really ever wear fancy clothes. I drive a basic car. We try and live in a cheap apartment for LA. And now, because of that, now I have good investments in crypto and other things like that. I've saved some money. Just God forbid there's a whole nother world event where, you know, we can't work, which we had happen last year. And I don't ever want to be in that situation now, because I've set myself up that way. I've been able to have excess funds to invest into making this film and everything like that. So for right now, you know, I have to still treat it like, yo, I'm still broke, you know.
We are broke.
Yeah. I'm still broke. I haven't anywhere near made it yet. Like, could I buy that fancy shirt? Could I go out to eat way more? Could I go on all these vacations? Sure, fucking great. But, and it's great to enjoy life, and I don't want to ever tell anybody that it's not a good thing. But right now is the time to grind. Right now is the time to hustle, to get what we want, because you can reap those benefits down the line, you know?
Yes.
And I really, really need to make this happen. So it's like, be as basic as possible with my spending and everything like that. And like we talked about at Urban Plates, I had a saying, you know, like, and I say this all the time, because sometimes I can get really, really great work on music videos or commercials, make a lot of money, and then the next month, like even this month, dude, things slow down like big time, you know.
Instantly.
And it's a big slap in the face, and you don't see it coming. So I know some guys who get high paying jobs, then they get a job offer for a low paying job, and then, you know, they're like, fuck that, I don't want to work on that. And it's like, well, you know, I get it, I really do. You want to know your worth, and that's that. But sometimes when hard times are hard, you got to do what the fuck you got to do,
Yes.
To get by. So I always say, you know, as fast as you can climb, you can fall a lot faster. Because there's many times where I'm like, man, I'm on top of the world. This fucking film thing is going great in LA. I'm making so much money. I can't believe that this is my day rate. And then 2 weeks later, you know, it's like, yo, what happened to the phone? What's going on?
Yeah, and that's the perfect plug. Tell me about just one experience that you're willing to share in regards to the COVID-19 experience where, you know, somebody on another entity didn't follow through, or in general, anything in COVID-19 where you worked your ass off and there wasn't follow through on the other entity of the other corporation that you were working with.
Yeah, no, 100%. It was funny. So right at the beginning, right before Rona happened, things were just starting to get good. That like eat shit and work for low rates is kind of like almost ending. The new year happens. It's 2020. It's like, man, we're in the future. We're in fucking 2020. I'm starting to work on some great sets, and then boom, this shit happens. No work is coming in, and like everybody's freaking out. They don't know what the fuck is going on. They don't know what this thing is. And so then I had to get a job working for fucking Amazon, like delivering packages, because it was the only thing going on. Amazon was working 24/7 within the pandemic, and man, I fucking hated that so much. It was just
They
like,
still are.
yeah. And I was like, I'm not out here to get a day job. It's not to belittle anybody who works for Amazon or anything like that, but that's just not my goal. I've slaved way too hard to get to a point in life, and it's like, I can't let this go. So I ended up quitting that job, and then I remember right after that, I worked with this band and a new label, and there was no other work out there at all, and it was a tight budget. And man, I probably spent 3 days. They came out from a different state working on this video with them, conceptualizing the whole entire treatment, getting all the rentals because they wanted to shoot on a specific camera and going through the whole 9 yards. And in long story short, you know, I kind of really vibed with them, thought that they were cool dudes. So I let my guard down, didn't make a contract with them, and then at the end they go, "Oh, hey, bro, we kind of miscalculated with some of the funds, so we're gonna need the label to pay you back. It's gonna be about a month." And I'm like, dude, we're in one of the worst like global like economic crashes, like nobody's fucking working.
The worst.
Yeah, we're like, people are getting evicted like left and right. People have bills, and you want me to feel bad for you because you just paid for a music video, which is a luxury commodity in this day and age. You posted the video, took my time and work, as well as my crew members who put their entire, you know, weekends and got very little sleep and ate shit because you didn't even have any budget to feed anybody. And then you're going to just dodge me and say, "Hey, sorry, bro." Like, why would that not
Sorry,
have been a thing?
bro.
Yep.
It's like you totally helped us out, and like I totally appreciate it, and I'll get you back soon.
Yeah, and then there was, okay, you know, fine, not happy about it, pretty angry about it, pawned me off to the label, and then it's a new label, and they're pretty big, and I love the musical genre. And then I work with a guy over there who's trying to get me the rush payment, and, you know, long and behold, it's an argument back and forth for a month, and I was like really stressing out. I'm like, man, there's like no work out there. Everybody I know in film community is not working. I don't even think there was like unemployment. This first stimulus check was still to come, so it was like still a new thing, and I'm like, dude, I'm on edge here, man. You know, what are we gonna do?
Yeah,
and you got time to chill in your fucking pool and have a good time. I did work, and I expect to be paid for it. So, you know, shit like that happens.
Yeah, and not only that, it's more even. Let's be honest. Yes, it is about the money. However, the time you invested, the creation you put behind it, it's just gone.
Yeah.
Torn apart, thrown into the abyss.
Waste of time. Yeah. We had an argument on the concept too. I made a whole story. We even had like some mini dialogue and the whole nine. Got trashed out of it, and I put a lot of effort into it because I actually really liked their song, and then they threw it out because they wanted to have a vibe, and it was funny. I don't even think it was them. Like, they were cool dudes, but it was just one dude in their band, and he was just really a fucking thorn in my side. And I guess he decided to throw out that whole entire idea, and he wanted to edit the video and color the video, and I'm like, no offense, man, but you're a musician. I don't know how many videos you've chopped together or, directed or edited, but you made a $65,000 camera look like a fucking DSLR. So,
for those that don't understand, and quite frankly, I don't either. What is a DSLR?
A DSLR is kind of like a photo camera.
DSLR.
Yeah, DSLR.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a photo camera. Yeah, they specifically requested that we shoot on the Arri Alexa, which is like pretty much every Oscar-winning movie or big movie that you see these days is shot on the Arri Alexa camera. Like, they're really fucking expensive, gorgeous color science, everything. So the guy takes the video, colors the whole video, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, these guys look like fucking lobsters. Like,
that's not fucking Queens Boulevard, bro. Why does it always happen to the East Coast people that they do this to? Like, it's fuck, dude.
I don't know, and it's a vibe, and I had to play nice because they're clients, but goddamn, I was like, I fucking hate this guy.
Yeah, and then he said, I'm not playing nice anymore. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Oh yeah, no, I got ugly. I got ugly at the end, and then it's like, oh man, why you have to be a dick? And it's like, I gotta be a dick because, like, you can't fucking communicate with me, and you're ducking me, and there's all these things. Like, I gave you every shot to just be a normal fucking human being, but God,
every opportunity. And here's to the next opportunity, to the next topic.
Yeah,
we're officially diving in. Thank you so much. Mark Anthony here with Sean Boyd. Don't forget, thank you. Shout out to Blair Bear and everybody that's involved. What do you actually like to watch to find inspiration?
Ooh, what do I like to watch to find inspiration? I don't know, man. I really love, I don't know what it is. I love darker stories. I don't think that it has to all be crime and stuff like that, but I do love crime dramas, crime thrillers, and drama movies in general. But I'll really throw on, either one of my favorite shows or one of my favorite movies.
But what is that?
Oh man, I'm a diehard Sopranos fan. I grew up. Yeah, dude, I grew up watching The Sopranos. Like, literally grew up. Like, we were 6 years old, and my dad would have like pasta parties every Sunday night. This is back when Netflix didn't exist. Like, you had to tune in Sunday night, 9:00, no ifs, ands, or buts. So there'd be everybody circles around the TV. So I grew up watching that shit. That's, I've watched the show over so many fucking times. So that's amazing. Amazing writing by David Chase. Man, I love a good Marty Scorsese movie, Quentin Tarantino.
There we go.
Recently, there's a new director who's kind of coming up. He's a little bit more in the indie world. But he did a couple movies, one Bone Tomahawk, another one Dragged Across Concrete. Really, really phenomenal guy. Jesus Christ, why the fuck am I drawing a blank? Oh, S. Craig Zoller is his name. He's only done about 3 movies, but new. He's definitely incredible writer. Really, really strong dialogue. And his movies always have these grand endings to them and everything. This big climactic ending, which I really love, and then the dialogue too.
Coors Banquet had to take a quick break. Continue, excuse me.
No, you're good. So yeah, we were talking about this. He's a little bit newer, but S. Craig Zoller is a phenomenal director, and he writes his movies as well, which I really respect. But dialogue is really quirky, really sharp. Yeah, and I mean, you don't have too many of those. You have obviously Tarantino, who's one of the most notorious. You have S. Craig Zoller. And, Mel Gibson has written one of the movies he's directed, I believe. And there's not that. I mean, obviously there's other examples. I really just can't think of it right now off the top of my head. But I really respect that because it's a whole process, really. That's a lot of damn work. And then it also just makes you so engaged in the story that you are directing because you know where it should be and you know what the fine line is. But he's doing things that I think are really edgy. I think is breaking the mold. He's not afraid to say certain things in the dialogue if that's who the character is. And just a very unique mashup of many different styles inside of his work. So I've really enjoyed his stuff. Dragged Across Concrete was great. Bone Tomahawk was fun. I have to watch his first movie, I believe, which is Brawl in Cell Block 99 with Vince Vaughn. You know Vince Vaughn? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's in it. He's actually in 2 of his movies. And he has Kurt Russell, Mel Gibson. But he's up and coming. The budgets have gotten bigger and bigger. The guy was a fucking chef too. I think I really sometimes really connect with a director who didn't go the traditional film school route, and then, you know, make some connections and have it all come up with the studio. Like, I really love guys who have humble beginnings and like, I want to be a movie guy, and they're like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. So I really love that, because then it's like, well, wait, if he can do that, why can't I? You know, so it kind of gives that voice. Yeah, exactly. So once I see that it's possible, it's like, okay, you know, I may not be at their level yet, but fuck, dude, give me some time, give me some years, and let me put everything I can into this. Like you said, you know, how much does it mean to you? I'm like, I see these guys, especially this up and coming newer guy, and I'm like, man, here's a guy making films that I really enjoy, and I want to make films like that. So fuck, you know, it's possible. He's doing it. They're giving him budgets. They make money, which is important for you know, studios and investors and stuff like that. Shit, there's still an audience for those kind of films. Let's go. You know,
let's go. Let's keep going. Do not stop. Once you stop, your production stops, and all of a sudden, in the most simple aspect, you become depressed. How do you direct films as opposed to a studio that directs films and they make a beautiful movie that's black and white?
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Got it.
Studio. Yeah, I mean, fuck, dude. You look at all these big Warner Brothers releases now and everything, and it's like, oh, no, you can't say that. Oh, but nah, he shouldn't die. We should have a happier ending. Oh, no. And it's just like, it's been beaten down, and it's been so many things. Oh, no, you can't do that. We should totally just make another fucking sequel or a remake. And like, the studio model too right now, from what I'm told from a couple friends, is really, if they are gonna entertain an original idea, because I think we're in the most unoriginal fucking era of movies ever. Like, there's another spin-off, reboot, sequel, remake, whatever the fuck you want to say, every damn week. Like, you just look at the movies out right now. The only way that they will sign like most new movie ideas, if it is a new movie idea, is like, can we make this into a sequel? Can we make remakes of this? Can we make further films? You know, like John Wick, great film. Could have been a great film standalone. Hey, you know, let's make a fucking second one. It did a killing. I mean, man, Fast and the Furious was such a great first film. It was much more realistic. It was much more dramatic. And then it was, you know, it was, how do I put it? Like man, when the Yakult, like the Asian gang guys came by and they killed everybody on the bikes, it was super realistic, and there was a drama and there was a war, and then the characters I felt like were more juicy, and now everybody's just kind of like flying around and shooting their car through another building. They're fun, you know. I think there's some people's guilty pleasures, but you know, now it's just like it's dollars.
Capitalistic society, baby.
You know, it's dollars, and I get it. You know, I'm not going to argue with a businessman who wants to make a return on his investment. But you know, in comparison to a lot of the more independent stuff, and indie doesn't have to necessarily mean that your movies aren't going to make it in movie theaters. I mean, S. Craig Zoller has some major actors in those movies. They're technically independent movies, but he gets final say. He gets final cut on the movie. The studio Lionsgate was like, I think you need to cut it down by like 5 minutes. He's like, what the fuck is 5 minutes going to make? I'm not chopping it down. It's not happening.
That's why I say that you need final cut and you need to do your own LLC. There's a song right now. It's called LLC. You are a walking LLC. I'm going to go to the next topic because we can talk forever.
Yeah.
How do you deal with constructive criticism as opposed to when you first started 6 years ago?
Yeah.
Officially, silently, to now?
Oof. That's a good question.
Thank you.
Man, I mean, 6 years ago, it depends on what it would be on, but I think I was just like, yeah, whatever you say, you know, like my mind is like a sponge, because especially if it depends who it's coming from, you know, especially if I'm around somebody who I know has way more knowledge on the topic or something like that, I'm going to absorb like a sponge and be like, man, let me learn from this person. What are they saying? You know, maybe I disagree with a small section of it and I'll throw it out, but you know, I think some of the greatest people ever made their careers off of, you know, learning from others and always, you know, pretending to be the student nonstop, because I don't care what level you're at, you're always going to learn something new, and there's always going to be something. So yeah, I mean, even today I'm always of that mindset. I mean, I have a table read with my actors and they're like, yeah, but I don't think you would say that, or just think about it in this way. And I'm like, oh, that's fucking great. You know, teamwork makes the dream work here. So I really try and take it in a great way. And then there's other times where I know that there's something that I'm very intentional about, and I'm like, I appreciate you. I'm not offended at all, but I disagree. And you know, sometimes there's just that line. So I'm not a totally my way or the highway kind of guy, but there are those small few times. But I would say if most people know me that work with me, I'm more of a collaborative dude, and I'm like, okay, I take what you're saying. And there's a small percentage of times where I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, I love it, thank you, man, I appreciate it, but no, I disagree with you. So, and that's it.
And that's fine. You get the right to do that. So, this is a very important for directors. How do you keep your actors in line? Because, you know, as actors, they have a lot of stress on them too, even though they're not the director. How do you keep them in line?
Define in line. Like, what do you mean?
In line, as a sense of making sure they're on time, making sure they're performing, making sure their mindset's correct, making sure that for the ones that, you know, are super exclusive, super precise in the acting that you found, how do you keep them at the level that you need to be at for everybody else, and how do you keep them elevating everybody else?
I think number one, I feel like just before you know get into that, I'm like a fucking Coca-Cola advertisement, like reminder advertising. I'm like, hey, we're gonna have this tomorrow at 1:00. Next day comes, it's 10 a.m. Hey, bro, I'll see you there at 1:00. Hey, man, make sure you read the script I sent you. This, so I'm very on top of that, like, because sometimes people's level of passion and like intensity is not as much as mine. And then the second part of that answer would really be to give off the energy that I want them to reciprocate back for the screen. Yes. So Michael Flores, who's in my film, will tell you, like, they were all busting my chops today and making fun of me. The first time we worked together, like, the scene was really intense, and he's a cholo actor, and these guys break into the trap house, and he has a gun, and he's supposed to be screaming at these dudes. I was fucking screaming my head off at Michael Flores, like, not like, you know, I was like, come on, bring it, you know. So if I want it to be intense, like, I've got to bring that level of intensity, you know. My energy should translate off of me into them, you know. So even when we talk for a scene, if we're talking on a serious scene, I'll be like, you know, I need you to say it this way. Like, you're going to come in, he's coming in right there to the left, so you're going to be fucking serious, and really just, you know, inflicting people with the energy that you want really is very, very important, because then it makes them more comfortable in those shoes. Because sometimes you're around, there's big lights, there's big cameras everywhere, and people, especially if you're a newer actor, you're like, oh man, I don't know if I should really fucking shout here, you know. But you know, once I do it, and I you know, I'll make a clown out of myself, and then he's like, okay, he made an asshole of himself. All right, I'll match that energy, and I'll do that. So that really, really helps to get what you want out of the actors. That really helps to keep people in line with the vision. And then sometimes if they're really not feeling it, I feel like I'll have to go on this whole demystifying of what I'm trying to say, and I'll be like, you know, so in this previous scene right over here, when that's happening, you know, it would only make sense that you would feel this way, and that's why that would be your line. And then when you dumb it down and explain why their character would be like this and stuff, and you can reciprocate the story back, then it's like, oh, okay, all right, I see where he's coming from. Okay, I get it. So
right. I love that explanation. All right, you guys, thank you. I needed you guys to take that all in. We've been going over a lot of topics, and we still have quite a few. So this is off segment, but what are your 3 favorite books, or 3 books that you would recommend to anybody right now?
3. I'm not gonna lie, I don't read a lot. So 3 books that I have enjoyed, though, and shout out to my buddy Sal. He got me into reading. There's a book called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. Right, that was fucking wonderful, because a lot of our hesitations in life are based off of worry. So that was fucking great. Really, really good for mindset. Robert Kiyosaki has a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is phenomenal too. Which made me think about everything in life, and you know, really sometimes how you can hold the power in your world. And then also one of my, I guess, you know, more of an autobiography book that to me influences big time mindset is Arnold Schwarzenegger's autobiography. I've looked up to him for a long damn time. I really love the mindset and all the things that he's accomplished. I'd say probably those 3.
And I love how positive he is too, and how he displays that everybody has greatness in them. For sure.
Yeah, man.
Any recommendations to high schoolers that just graduated for them to, what would you recommend to high schoolers? Let's say I'm in high school, I'm like Sean Boyd, and you're, let's say, you're a counselor or some shit, what would you
Yeah.
recommend me to do? Because I don't believe that the school system is the direct, immediate way to go.
I'm going to agree with you 100% there. The first thing I'm going to say is get your fucking ass a job, bro. Learn how to eat shit, learn how to work hard, and learn right away that I mean, sure, some people can have very successful careers having jobs, but I think that at a young age, when you learn the value of a dollar, like some kids, when I got out of high school, man, I was caddying, then I was a valet at a car dealership, and making like fucking $9 an hour. At the end of the week after taxes, you got like $300, which is when you're young, you may be like, oh man, it's $300, but you buy groceries, there's $150 for the week, boom, gone. Then you have a car, you got to put gas in it, especially if you're that age. I wouldn't imagine you have that many responsibilities, but once now your money is starting to be earned and you're putting in this sweat equity and you're working for other companies, you will find out a couple of things. How much it takes for some people in this world to make a dollar, right? The amount of effort that they have to put in.
Right.
You'll find out, B, do I like this or do I not like this? Some people can work in the workforce, have a job, make a very decent living, and they find that great, and there's nothing wrong with that. Whereas I believe other people find out, you know what, I'm tired of fucking being told what to do, and I'm tired of this and that, and I'm tired of being told that this will always be my salary and my income. Man, if I just thought like this guy does who owns this business that I work for, maybe I could actually make some more money and then, dictate my worth and also be in control of my life and live life on my terms. So I think getting a job right away teaches you that responsibility, teaches you how to work hard, and then it also teaches you, like I said, to eat a little bit of shit. I think that's good. I think tough love, and I think, understanding what you don't like in this world is very motivating.
Yeah, it is.
Like shit, you tell your kid, don't play with fire. Oh, no. And it touches the fire, he gets burned. He won't fucking touch that fire again. So same thing, working from a very young age. Like my dad was always about having a job. Like even in high school, I had a job, and it was like, he'd call me after school, what are you doing? And it wasn't like he cared. Like it was like, if you're not working, you're fucking lazy. You know?
Yeah.
So I think people need to learn the value of that at a young age, and there's so many things that come out of it. And then you'll learn other things like, holy shit, taxes suck. Fuck, what the hell? I've been flipping hamburgers all fucking week long, and they just took $150 from me. What the fuck is this? And then you'll realize like, oh shit, this is not cool. And that will set you up for many other discussions as you become an adult, that we don't have to go into right now. But, I think it teaches you a lot. You get roughed up a little bit. And I think that that's important. I think that endeavors in life make people grow. Comfort zones do not. So you can go to college, you can do that whole thing, but I'm in agreement with you that I don't think it's the 100% way to success in your meal ticket. College is an investment in yourself. If I was going to go and open up a fucking lemonade stand or a taco truck or a rental house, whatever it is, I would probably do my research, look at the statistical data on the return on my investment, and know whether or not. But they're telling these kids like, go to school, spend $90,000, you'll get a good job,
be in debt for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and these are all those things, and I'm looking at these kids, and they're sold a fucking lie, and it's not everybody, but I think it's a huge, vast majority. If you want to go to school and you say, man, I want to help people, I want to be a doctor, obviously you got to go to fucking college and get your doctorate's degree and stuff like that. If you want to be a lawyer and bring justice, to evil people out there, sure, all the way. It's not my choice, but maybe in those positions it makes a little bit more sense. But most other career paths, man, I can't justify it. It's like $90,000. You could start a good business with fucking $90,000 if you wanted to take out a loan and probably pay it off faster. You could buy a cheap property in another state. Cheap property, rent it out to other people in, the middle of fucking nowhere in the South or something like that. And then let the property go up in value over years, sell it and flip it. And then boom, you have a profit. And now, just like in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you're leveraging debt to create assets and income.
Right.
But these are things that they don't teach you. And I think that unfortunately there's a reason for that. I don't think you and I will never know. But I think that if everybody was as aware of their potential, it'd be a much different world. But yeah, dude, I really don't think that school is 100% your meal ticket to success for these kids, and it's sad.
It is so sad. Yeah. And you know what it is? It's sad because they make all their students sad. College is the biggest business out there. If anybody disagrees, that's up to you. But define your taste of films or your vision of films. But I feel like you already did display that a little earlier.
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, I'll put it this way, just short and sweet, for my vision of films, I definitely love stories that show endeavor in whatever way. It doesn't have to be crime, it doesn't have to be any sort of specific thing, but I love, and it goes back to what we were talking about before, I love any story with some sort of problem and endeavor, especially the more grim or the more overwhelming of the problem that the character has to overcome. Like, I don't know what it is. I think that the human mind is such a powerful tool that we don't realize its full capability. And when I see a story, especially like underdog stories where the odds are against the main character, like I really love that. And then if you can tell that story wonderfully, but you can also tell it beautifully and have amazing visuals, I love that. That's the harmonious blend of those two things, because film is a medium, right? Like I said, it's not all good cinematography, because I see that many, many times. And then if you're lacking the story, it's like, well, you got a bunch of pretty shots, but I got no story. So if you can blend those together, that's what I'm all about.
For sure. That's amazing. Now, what would you recommend to the directors that are starting out to incorporate, I think, all five senses in their films, taste, smell, and those go alongside, because we obviously know why, emotion, visual, and then for the people that are introverts, extroverts, and more importantly, to keep, again, people's attention throughout a film.
That's a really good question. I would say that number one, like what you said with all the five senses, I feel like if some young person's like, hey, I want to get into filmmaking and stuff like that, and they're going to make their short films and stuff, I feel like that's a great idea that you had there, is like, hey, show me all of these human emotions in 5 minutes, incorporate it all into your story. So, right, your sight, your sound, your hearing, your taste, all of that. So that I think that would be really cool to tell to young people, and that would really challenge them. And then, sorry, remind me of the second part of your question right there.
How does incorporating all this create a film as opposed to a vibe, as opposed to what people quote unquote want to see in a movie?
I think incorporating all this, especially the story, like I said, I think every character personally should have an arc, right? A beginning where we see them and we go along for this ride, right? They start out in the beginning of the film, and then, like, I'll take Slumdog Millionaire for instance, right? We see this character, when he's young and stuff like that.
Slumdog Millionaire. Continue.
Yeah. Boss. So on the topic of Slumdog Millionaire, here's a character who has an arc, right? We are with him obviously it's all flashbacks, right, in the film and everything, but he has an arc. He starts off as this poor kid and everything. This whole entire insurgence, this crazy thing happens. His mother dies and stuff like that, and here he's left alone with his brother. And now his brother and him are, homeless kids at a very young age, and they have to navigate their life. They go through all of these tumultuous endeavors, right? They come across these really fucked up, seedy people who try and take advantage of them to make money off of tourists and stuff like that. He goes through all of these other things. He works at a call center, and here's somebody, like we said before, eating shit. It's this huge endeavor of life, but no matter what, this character in this film is on the quest for a life that's better. And not only is he on a quest for a better life, but a girl that he grew up with when he was younger, he loved her, and they went through so many hardships, and he lost her along the way. And here he is trying to not only get over where he came from in his broken past, but he's also trying to reunite with the one girl that he loves. So we find him at the beginning, and all this bad stuff happens, and we go through him with this journey until the end of the movie, where he finally wins millions and millions of dollars. He gets the girl, and everything's wonderful, and now he's got this great life ahead of him. In some stories, there's no resolve, and the person loses whatever their goal is. But I feel like you have to have that arc. Personally, there's quite a lot of films that are coming out that I would call not only a vibe but also a coverage film, right? So it's like, hey, this happened, we covered it, and that's it. It's like if I said Mark went to the park, he sat on a bench, that's it. Now, how about Mark went to the park? He tried to sit on the bench, but there was a whole bunch of gang members there. So he had to go back, get help, try and find out how he could kick the gang members out of the park to be able to create a safer community so that him and his wife and kid could go and chill at the park, right? So here's now this character faced with this problem. They have to overcome it. Whether he succeeds or not, that's, destined to be able to see that at the end of the film. But I'm finding that there's a lot of coverage movies where it's like, this happened, that's it.
Right.
And I'm like,
like, come on. Like, I mean, eventually it gets old, and it does get old.
You watch 2 hours of it, and you're like, nothing happened. Literally nothing happened.
I just wasted 2 hours of my time.
Yeah. I felt that way about Moonlight, man. I really did. It won the Oscar. I don't know if it won Best Picture, but it won a ton of stuff, and it had a lot of stuff going for it. But it was like, hey, here's this kid. He's trying to find out, his identity, and he's gay. He loves this other kid.
Right.
Okay, cool, awesome. But he never chases the other kid. It's just like this horrible shit keeps happening to him. Horrible shit keeps happening to him. At the end of the film, he meets the guy. Nothing happens. I'm like, like there's no quest really. I don't feel the arc.
Now that we know that sometimes we do have to eat shit to learn how to not eat shit.
Yeah.
Explain to me how now the position you're in, it's built character as a director for you, whether in all aspects of life or just in the workplace.
I think really it's just like it's a tremendous privilege to be able to be able to create like an artistic piece, because at the end of the day there's like so many horrible things going on at the world, and I'm such a blessed dude to have worked to this level to be able to do this, right? So now as I've overcome all of these things, I'm like, shit, I really gotta do this, because I've spent all this time slaving away. All these people doubted me. My dream was insane. It's not quite there yet, but man, I see the iceberg, man. I'm almost at the tip. Let's go, so it's been a long road, and you have to remind yourself of what you've been through to chase this one thing, no matter what it is that you're trying to do. And it's like, if you're on a fat loss journey and you've lost 20 pounds, but you're still not where you want to be, it's like, dude, look where you came from, man. Like, you've been grinding. Like, are you really gonna throw it all away? You're right there. Come on.
Right. And that's a perfect plug for what we have going right now. So after this weekend, give us about a week and a half. We will be on Indiegogo. So any of you guys that support and have been following us, and that now are following us and understand what we're looking to portray and do an impact on the world. Because most importantly, sure, money's a thing, but we want to impact and we want to change.
Yeah.
You guys, we're going to be on Indiegogo. Please support. Any kind of donations would be much appreciated. And most importantly, it's not even donations. It's just that many people go on here and many people are able to raise money for films. And we guarantee you, if you do give us the opportunity, we're not going to let you down. We're working hard for this. And most importantly, we're working smarter than that. And
hey, at least we got 95% of it done. So, well, not 90, about 90% of it done. So it's not like we have this fable crazy dream and it's like, how you gonna make this out? Like, we're right there. We've made most of it happen with nothing. And at this point, maybe there's a couple kind souls out there that can help out. If not, we'll always figure out a way.
Yeah. And
like I said, if it's important to you, you'll make it happen.
Right. I agree with that. And given that, if it's important to you, we'll make it happen. What are the biggest obstacles as an indie director, even if it's not currently right now, that you have faced against studios, against people that tried screwing you over, against people that tried taking your rights to your film and your creations and your scripts? What are the biggest obstacles in between all of that?
Sometimes, sometimes you would think like it's a lack of resource. And sure that can be some, but mainly what makes films is an effort and a collaboration between many great people, right? And along the way, it's always hard, like you said before, how do you keep the actors in line? And everybody's fucking wonderful, but sometimes it's just the communication with other people, whether it's a person for a location, whether it's a person, who's a crew member, and it's like, fucking hell, like sourcing people that you can, how do I put it? You can translate the passion for this project and your energy into them, because at the end of the day, people are really giving their time and being kind people to donate to your time. So you have to be very good at communicating your vision and making other people actually be passionate to donate their time, because if you can communicate that in such a certain way and really inspire them, then you're going to have the people, you're going to have the hands, you'll have the resources for people that you want to have on board, So if you're an asshole to people and you've always been that way, you're not going to have that many people who are going to have your back. And on top of that, if you're not a good speaker and you are not well at communicating, then you're going to have some problems getting the resources, the hands, and the firepower to get your project off the floor, because you got no money, you have limited resources, ideally when you're starting out, and it's just like, this is not a road where you can go solo. You need many great people to help you do it, and you better be thankful, you better be humble and grateful, and make sure that is always reciprocated. So yeah, man, one of the hardest things is getting those people to commit, getting people to stay honest and true to their word, and getting people on board who are new, because then all the other things come,
Exactly. And if you're not, cut them. If they're negative, cut them. If they're not willing to do what is necessary to get to the next level, unfortunately, thank you so much for your time, but we're going to have to continue proceeding with other candidates.
Yeah. And we've already been there. So
right, exactly.
That's fine,
For most people that don't know, because, aside to me and all your followers, I know they have an idea of what's going on, but what do you want to say about the film? How are you feeling about this film in the script, or what kind of description do you want to give to people that have tuned in right now?
What do I want to say about the film? I'd say that we have a couple different variables. We have a mixture of drama and a character trying to attain a certain lifestyle and a goal that they have, and then we have our gritty crime element. Just a little synopsis: we have our main character Andre, who moves out here from Nebraska, and he's in search of becoming an actor and his whole entire new life in Los Angeles, and he's left behind his old ways in Nebraska, and he had some drug problems, and he comes from a broken family, so he comes out to move in with his cousin and moves to LA. Quickly finds out that this acting shit's tough and it doesn't pay right away. So he has to resort to other methods of making good money to afford the insanely expensive lifestyle out here. And here's a character who's trying to get to the ends of this, right? Just make a living and then say, okay, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'll go back and I'm going to try and be an actor. But now, because he's made this bad choice, bad things come with it. So it's really a tale I think many people can relate to, because there's so many people coming out here for an abundance of reasons, whether it's to be an actor, a new rapper, singer, filmmaker, whatever, and they don't make it, and they have to do many things that they don't like. And here's that basic core element again of here's a character with a huge thing in their way, and now here's this endeavor, and here's this whole journey of what are you going to do about it? Sometimes it doesn't work out for them. Sometimes it does, So we'll definitely explore that more when the film comes out. But yeah, that's at least the baseline of everything.
That sounds like very, and I'm not comparing you to anybody else, but it's just what I always say, that we're within and without of every situation. We're in a realm we're not, and we are on this planet.
Yeah.
That's spiraling, but we're not. And it just sounds like a beautiful inception / creation / very relatable story, because this is relatable to any situation for anybody that's looking to do their passion.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And for anybody who enjoys a good mystery, I really can't wait to see audiences' reactions and hear people's feedback, because it gets fun. It goes beyond just the drama of the story and into a whole nother world.
Right. So you guys, we're down to our last 3 huge topics. Now we're getting into really legalities / politics behind everything, and not only that, where the money is in the film industry.
Yeah.
Their true money is that is not here, that is here.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on China continuing to being a huge huge instrumental source of box office sales. Because I mean, as much as we want this money, we don't care about box office sales. We care about the story.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we want to care about the story and the integrity of it, but obviously, like you said, it's you have to make money as a business, but unfortunately politics and other things like that are infused with it, and anybody can say whatever they want, at the end of the day about what I'm about to say, but it's happening, it's real, it's disgusting, and I'm just truly horrified for what's to come down the road. You have China right now that's a huge market share, obviously, because they have a huge population and stuff like that.
Right.
And before you get on the bandwagon with your Stop Asian Hate bullshit and all this other stuff, recognize that it's not just China, it's really the Chinese government, right? An evil entity of people. I'm sure there's many people in China that really hate their government and would love to get out there, and I wish them nothing but the best, and I'm really sad and mortified by it. But to not get off topic and go on that whole tangent, especially with the movie industry, they are making Marvel films. They're making different cuts of them just to appeal to a Chinese audience. And in many ways, too, there's tactics and certain practices that are implemented that I think are completely wrong and counterintuitive to the entire politically correct culture that Disney and Marvel try and portray that they have, but they really don't, because at the end of the day, for a big corporation, dollars are the most important. So I think that, there's many comments that they've made about, being politically correct and race relations, and they can say all that bullshit, but when it comes down to it, I'll give you an example. I'm not a Marvel guy at all, right? But they made that movie Black Panther, and in China, when they released it for the movie poster, they released it with Chadwick Boseman's character on the cover, but with his mask on, because Disney thought that black people would not be they would not be appealing to a Chinese audience at all. Mind you, the entire film has a black actor as the main actor, but that was their reasoning for doing that, and it's like nobody talks about that at all, So Disney and those big studios, I'm like, this is fucked up, man. You guys are talking about Black Lives Matter and all these other things, and you want to appear to be this loving, big corporate commercial titan. But here you go doing this, and China has huge, tremendous power from the CCP and the Chinese Communist government, and that's influencing films. And that's just one fucked up example, man. That's just heinous, And dude, they're fucking killing Muslims in concentration camps over there. They are fucking bad news, man. So fuck you and your Asian hate bullshit. If you want to say I'm racist against Chinese people, it is not Chinese people. It is the Chinese Communist government. Tyranny and oppression. You think we have that here in the U.S.? Go to fucking China. Say one thing that the CCP doesn't like, boom, you disappear.
Or have 2 kids and see what happens to one of them.
Yeah, exactly. So it's fucking disgusting, and they're playing their hand in the NBA and so many other things. And you have actors like John Cena, who said that Taiwan was a country and had to apologize to China because China believes that no, it's not a country, it's our territory. And it's just this insane, level of totalitarian regime, and they're only getting stronger and stronger, and it's all intertwined into movies and pop culture, because how do you influence people, right? That's what they consume.
Right.
But if you can do it on micro levels, people aren't realizing what's happening.
Yeah, propaganda slowly but surely.
It's sad, dude.
Yeah.
It's really sad. I don't fucking like them at all. I wish my opinion was more popular, but
no, it's okay. The popular opinion is for the people that are as well in the sheep mindset, but that's a whole nother podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, I'm gonna ask Sean a pretty deep question right now, and it's another as well. Do you think that the movie goers, i.e., the people that go watch movies in, whether they're watching it at home, but specifically if you go to the movies,
yeah,
do you think that they'll ever be able to embrace this comic book multiverse that they're trying to re-up, and that they've already been micro distributing with these? Have you seen the horrible film, what is it? I can't even remember the name of it. It's the Joker, but it's not the Joker one that...
The Suicide Squad one with Jared Leto, where they redid it.
Right.
And he has like the
Right.
fucking grills
Corny.
and all that. Yeah. People, I don't think it did so hot, right?
No, they had a good 20-second intro film. They did have a very good 20-second, what is it called? Commercial.
Huh. So what is your question exactly? So
Do you
people
think
who are
that people will be able
moviegoers.
to eventually be able to take on this comic book? I feel that comic books are comic books. I don't feel that. And that's maybe because there hasn't been the right director, or maybe
Sure.
I haven't watched the right film because I haven't watched
Right.
all the films out there. Do you think that people will eventually be able to go watch these comic book versus multiverses
Yeah.
as much as like these huge films like Fast Furious or whatever, these huge sequel films?
I mean, they're definitely making some serious money and viewers. I mean, like Avengers Endgame, I think it was like $500 million budget, and it made billions worldwide, like crazy. So it seems to be that it's heavily widely accepted, and it's only getting bigger and bigger. It's not personally for me, but it's only getting bigger and bigger right now, especially with the whole comic book adaptation. So yeah, I think people are gonna keep accepting it more and more, and it's gonna get bigger. Some of them fail.
Right.
I think that that is also due to, I mean, Disney owns Marvel, and there's a huge influence, and this goes back to that whole entire China conversation of certain subliminal pieces of propaganda in the dialogue and other things like that within the characters that I think that are in there. And in some ways, in certain areas, I think people see through it, and it's kind of like, just fucking make a movie, man. Just stop with this shit. Really. And people see through that, and some of these movies are flopping. And then other ones, huge commercial success. May not be for me, it's just not my type of movie, but, you know, Avengers and all those crazy box office numbers, you know?
Right. I agree. Is there, for the directors that are looking to get into become a director, is there any directors that you see on YouTube that you still study or you still go on to look at like let's say for lack of better words, a beginner director that's looking to penetrate this market in a sense of creation because of the lack of authenticity?
Yeah. So you're saying repeat that though.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're saying, what would I tell like a young director who's trying to make their world more authentic, or you're saying like
Their
channels?
world within the film's more authentic.
Yeah. Oh, stick to what you know, man. I mean, I've had a hard time making my second film. Because I'm out here in Cali and I'm a Jersey boy, you know?
Right.
So trying to make it authentic, you know, I wrote my basis storyline to what I knew, and then all the other parts that I don't know, you know, I've had many consultants for the script be like, nah, bro, this is how it would go down. This is the street. This is how they would dress. This is that, you know? And it all worked out for the best, and I really feel great about things, but it was tremendously tough to make many things authentic without the help of others. If you have that and you have a script consultant and you have somebody that can help you with all that, awesome. But in your very beginning phases where you don't have a lot of budget and you don't have a lot of things, stick to topics that are very native to you. Stick to topics that you know a hell of a lot about, and then especially your characters too are like, you know, if you can base them off of people that you know, and you know their mannerisms, you know how the fuck they would talk, you know what they would dress, you know what they would eat, I think that's great. I mean, you take probably the master of it, Martin Scorsese, all the Italian guys. I mean, he grew up in New York City. So all these guys in these movies, half of them are not real actors. Another great group of people who do this, newer directors, the Safdie brothers, they did Jesus Christ, A Good Time, Uncut Gems, which Adam Sandler that recently came out. That was a huge success. A lot of those guys are like real New York City dudes, and they're authentic guys. And stuff like that, and they really stuck to what they know. They're telling New York East Coast stories, and they're from there, and they know the people, they know the lingo, and it comes off so well, you know. And when you watch their films, you have no doubt in your mind that like you're standing right here in New York, the Big Apple, baby. So stick to what you know. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, and I love the mention of Uncut Gems, just because I believe that in some sort of way or form, I'm an Adam Sandler in the form of versatility. Right. I've never seen a film. No, I have. I haven't seen a film in such a long time where, again, I felt that I teleported into the TV.
Yeah. Yeah. All the diamond you see in the film.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've seen that film. Yeah.
How about that ending, huh?
The ending was sound. It was beautiful.
It's like,
And
what
is it
the
how it
fuck?
would go? I believe.
Yeah, no, 100%. But yeah, no, Adam Sandler is so versatile. Just such an amazing film. And like you said, it's so authentic because all those guys are like half of them that they use in the film are real Diamond District dudes, and like have never acted in their lives before. And they look ugly, they look seedy and greedy.
They look what they fucking look like.
Yeah, it's not some dude who lined up in a casting call in California with 8-pack abs and fucking shiny, sparkly white teeth.
Yeah.
We've seen it. We've seen that a million times. But this has that level of realism and authenticity. And I thought that was so well done. And then everything else before, like we talked about, here's the character arc. Here's this character, Howard Ratner, who has this huge, tremendous debt to pay off to a friend that he knows. He gets in this opal gem, and with it, he thinks it's his ticket to becoming a millionaire and selling it, paying back his friend, having financial success. And in the meantime, he has his girl on the side, and he's going to do great with her. He'll get divorced with his wife once everything's done. But now, he owes his friend more because he can't overcome his gambling habit and everything else. And then we have all this tension, and we're going along with this ride with him and this whole character arc. And at the end, we have our catharsis, our release, our where we've come to. It may not be that he won. It was a gritty ending. I mean, he gets shot in the fucking head. Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't watched Uncut Gems.
Late. If you haven't seen it.
But the ending, you go, oh God, what the hell? And it's just such a shocking ending. But there you go. There's your arc. There's your story.
Yeah, there's the plot. There's the plot twist, and not only that, there is the movie that completes you. You're like, whoa, I'm mind blown.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So that was a fun one. The Safdie brothers are another newer set of directors that I really like what they're doing.
Right.
Very inspirational to me.
Right. So today, Office of the Day with Mark Anthony has been with Sean Boyd. But before I let this man go, I do this to everybody, whoever comes on the cast. I'm gonna ask you to assure me 3 things that you need to work on this week that you could do better on, and take your time.
Oh, man. Okay. Let me think for 10 seconds. Okay. I've been doing all right with it, but I'm going to be fucking honest with myself. My time management needs to be better because I'm always overlapping things and I'm running around nonstop. Mistakes get made, and certain things then get delayed and pushed off later. Right. So that's number one, because preparation is key as I'm going into this weekend to shoot these 2 overnighters and crazy scenes.
I'll be there.
Yeah, man, looking forward to having you there. So that I think is super important as well. I think I need to learn how to slow down a little bit. Like I'm in a rush to get there because I'm like, oh my god, it's coming. Like this weekend's coming. I have to do all this, like boom, and I'm trying to do so much. But sometimes when you're in such a rush and you have so many things going on in your head, you get worried. And I get it genetically from my dad. I get like these big, like heaving, like panting, like, oh my god, my fucking heart's racing, like, dude.
Right.
And I'm like, you need to fucking calm down, bro. Slow down. Think about it. It's gonna be fine. I'm having dreams about it, so I need to learn really to be a little bit less worried. And in that, put my trust into the team that I have coming out on this, because they spent 5 hours with me today, and I'm like worried. Are they going to get it? Like, we're going to be there all fucking night, and we're going to have some problems with the acting and the scene. I need to learn to put my trust in them and know that it's not all the weight is on me, Like,
absolutely.
They're passionate. They see the vision, and they're going to bring it home. I'd say that's really the last one,
I love that. And I love that. I feel that I couldn't agree anymore, just because I was listening to this song. It's called Slow Down by Gunna. And it's just, he's saying the same thing. He's obviously known across the whole world, the global. And even he's saying, I just need to slow down.
Yeah.
Because when you slow it down, you don't need to essentially really slow down your progress. You just need to slow down your thinking process to make sure that you're doing the most strategic move. Yeah. And not only that, the precise correct move every time. The precise correct decision every time. So I love that you said that. And I love that you said that you feel like you're running with your head off. If you're not feeling like that, quite frankly, you're not doing enough. If you don't have a new problem every week, every other day, then you're not getting out of your comfort zone.
No, not at all. Especially when you're aiming high for anything at all, and it's a big dream, and maybe it's above your pay grade, or however you would phrase that, or it's above like what you can digest and swallow. Yeah, man, that shit's gonna come. It's natural. You're human, and then you'll figure it out. My dad always tells me this story. He went to go visit his grandpa in Virginia when he was young, and they were out on the Chesapeake Bay, and he was this old Southern dude, and he fought in the war and everything, and he's like, "Glenn, can you swim, boy?" "No, Grandpa, I can." He picked him up by he didn't even have a life preserver on, just picked him up by his shirt and threw him in the ocean. And was like, "Now you can, boy." And he's like swimming, he's fucking screaming. He's like, "Grandpa, no, I'm gonna drown." And he's like, "Go on, paddle now, boy." And that's it, And then eventually he's like, "I learned how to swim." And he's like, the fucking ocean and chop was crazy. But you adapt, your general mindset would be to panic. I'm gonna fucking drown. Like, slow down. What do I need to do? I need to paddle here. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I need to kick my legs. Okay, slow down. Like, freaking out is not gonna solve anything. And then you learn to overcome and adapt.
I agree, and adapt quickly.
Yeah.
Even though you need to adapt slowly, in the sense of thinking slower to make sure that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Life is limitless. Is there any other questions that you have for me, or anything else that you would love to leave with the people? And thank you, guys. This is the best podcast that I've ever dropped.
Oh, man.
Is there anything else that you would like to end off with before we call it?
Ooh, let me think about that. Yeah. I mean, for anybody who is listening, number one, if you were not a filmmaker and you were just entertained, thank you so much for listening to my atrocious voice for the past hour.
Not atrocious.
Thank you so much for tuning in here with Mark. And then, if you are a filmmaker, if you are some sort of creative, one of my biggest gripes that I'm going through right now, my personal mindset is, do not, no matter what, ever falter to who you are and what your identity is in your art and in yourself. Not all the time in life are you going to fit in. Not all the time are you going to be the praying mantis on the leaf that's going to blend in. Do not ever sell your fucking soul to appease other people. Okay?
Don't.
Or your art. If your art offends people, if your thoughts and your freedom of thought offends other people, then you just have a difference of agreements. But do not ever falter. You were made the way you were. You can't help it at all. As long as you are not hurting anybody with anything that you're doing at all, do not falter, and always be you, and always trust in what you believe in your heart.
Wow. I couldn't have said it any better. Thank you, guys. Excuse me. And shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to everybody. Thank you, guys.
Yes.
It couldn't be possible without you, Sean. It couldn't be possible without all the listeners, you guys. Thank you very much. And a new thing that I have coming, I have sales courses on the way. I have as well, for those of you guys that are feeling stuck or in a mental block, please reach out to me. I will help you do this. The first call is 20 minutes free. After that, I am going for $80 per hour. So either way, I'm here to help you. However, if you want to send out an email, I might respond and give you a couple answers or give you some insight. However, I'm not saying that I know everything, but I do know a lot.
Yeah.
You tune in with Passing His Wolf, Office of the Day with Mark Anthony, and the big fish, Sean Boyd. And you guys will see some very cool scenes soon.